Okay, fourth grade, so the way you're basically going to start this organic form sculpture is you're going to start with paper. Now, if you need those long strips that we practiced with, then you're going to want a nice long paper like this. But if you know you don't need those long strips, that you want your pieces to be shorter, then get a smaller paper like this, a shorter half-size paper. It's the same width, but it's definitely not the same length. So if you're going to do strips and you need strips, I'll have two kinds of rulers out. I'll have a 2-inch ruler, which are some of the pieces we worked with in practice are 2 inches, and then I have some a 1-inch ruler. So you need to decide, do you want thick pieces or skinny pieces? Or maybe you don't need to decide, maybe you know you need both. And the way that you use the ruler is you line up the ruler with the edge of your paper. Now, if you're going long ways, the rulers are great because they're plenty long enough. And you'll just take your pencil, you line it up with the side of the paper, you take your pencil and you draw right along the edge. Now you have to move your hand down while you hold the ruler or it's going to want to move on you. And there you have a perfect 1-inch strip that you'll then cut with your scissors. If you need more than one 1-inch strip, then you'll put the 1-inch ruler right next to the pencil line that you just drew. Hold it down, draw on the other side of the ruler, all the way down your paper. Let's say you need a mixture. So the 2-inch ruler is the same, you use it the exact same way. Line it up with your pencil line or the edge, if you don't have any pencil lines, the edge of your paper, and then draw on the other side of it all the way down. And then you'll slide it across and draw another line. And then you'll take your scissors and carefully cut on these lines. But let's say you don't need strips at all. Let's say you're going to do cones and you need circles. Well, then you would just take a piece of paper and you're going to trace the circles on the back. But when you trace, or not on the back of the paper, but on the paper. When you trace the circles, trace them close together so that you're not wasting paper. Put the circle against the edge of the paper. When you do another circle, put it close to the first circle and close to the edge of the paper. And then carefully trace around it. And then do the same here as you work your way down. Close together so you don't have a lot of scrap. And honestly, let's say you don't use this part, that could be a 2-inch strip there easily that someone else could use. And you're also going to want to decide on a color scheme. Most of the examples I showed you were basically white sculptures, and then the scrap paper I gave you to practice with was white, but there's nothing that says it has to be white. You could do a rainbow of colors. You could just do it all in black. You could do it all in green. It's completely up to you, your color scheme, but what the learning objective is to create organic forms. So you're taking this flat shape and turning it into a 3-dimensional form. And that's how you're going to start your piece. And remember, your strips don't have to be this long. You could cut them this long and cut them in half or thirds if you need them shorter. Or if you know you don't need any long ones, get a smaller paper and do the same thing. Take your ruler, line it up. Maybe you don't want it this length. Maybe you want to put the lines this way. And draw your strips and cut those out very carefully with your scissors, and then start to manipulate and use those paper form techniques that I showed you on how to manipulate and create an organic formed sculpture.